Good afternoon, it's Peter from the Music Room. How are you going? Happy New Year to you all. I'm making a video in answer to Rob Walker's Vinyl Tag 2024. Sorry I've been away for a while. I haven't had much opportunity to make videos, I think in the latter part of the year. Life just got in the way, I'm sorry, as happens. But anyway, without further ado, I'll just get into what Rob's questions, which were 20 questions. Quite diverse ones, quite good ones, interesting ones as well. It got me thinking a bit, so let's see how we go here. Okay, so first one, favourite record bought in 2023. And I actually had a bit of a flurry of buying this year. Buying, I won't say new albums so much, but actually, when I say new, I mean old albums, but new pressings. And I found a few things along the way. One of these being, I was at a record fair a little while ago, and one thing that caught my eye was the Bob Dylan Mo-Fi 2013 45 RPM. Okay, this is in a one step, but this is actually, I was really surprised at how good this was. I've got the album on CD, right, and I maybe haven't played it much, but this really caught my attention. This was sounded so amazing. I won't open it up. It's just actually got the booklet and got the records and everything in there. It's actually it's over 6 sides, all played 45 RPM. It is very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it surprised me very much. So there you go. Second question, final purchase of 2023. Now there were two that I bought at the same time on Boxing Day last year, which is, as you know, the day after Christmas. But one of those is going to figure in another question later on, so I'll save that for later. But this one here, Garbage, anthology from 1995 to 2022. This is actually quite a good album. I was looking to buy things that I don't already own in any medium, and whether it be CD or LP, and which is what I'm trying to do these days. I'm trying to actually find new things for me. It might be old things, but new things for me. So some of this stuff is blind buys. This is actually quite a good album. I know a couple of songs. Only Happy When It Rains, Stupid Girl. I think it was one or two others on here that I don't really recall the title of, but this sounded pretty good. This is actually on coloured vinyl. It's a transparent coloured vinyl. So yeah, very good indeed. And I've also developed a habit of leaving them on the shrink. And I'm leaving the hype sticker on. I used to remove the shrink before. If it's a gatefold, I will. This isn't a gatefold. This is actually 2 sleeves in one, which is a trend these days. A wider sleeve with 2 records beside it. But yeah, not a new thing, but yeah, it's something I've noticed lately. Okay, third question is a band or a singer who released 2 albums in 1 year. And, well, there was a lot of it in the 60s, and the most obvious one I'm going to go with is the Beatles, of course. But I'm going to go with Please Please Me and with the Beatles. Please Please Me was around about March of 63, maybe a bit later. With the Beatles toward the end of the year, released November 22, 1963. Sadly, a very sad day in history, as we know, people will know. Just coincidentally, it actually was the day JFK died, coincidentally. But yeah, the remarkable thing with these 2 albums, this was captured their live show at the time, as it was what they recorded. Both have the 8 originals and 6 covers, but this one, the maturity in the writing is actually already increasing. I mean, that's a great album. I mean, you can't get a better start to an album than I saw it standing there when Paul's counting that 1, 2, 3. But this one here, you just tell with the style of the album cover itself. It's just a trendsetter. So yeah, those 2 albums. So I mentioned, if you could only listen to music from one decade, which one would it be? Being a Beatle lover, you know, I could say the 60s, but for me personally, I'm going to say the 70s, because it was a time when I was listening to music and buying records with my own money. I mean, started off with 45s, right, these things here, and went into that, and then I eventually got into LPs. Around about 73, 74, when I started working a full-time job, I was able to start buying LPs with my own money, and I was in fact buying new release LPs, and things like being like Bad Company and Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin and all these other things, Status Quo and all this other music that came along, and I was buying these LPs, right? And even the stuff from America and wherever else, Australian rock as well. So that's why it's so important to me, the fact that I was able to hear the music and buy it under my own steam, as opposed to depending on my older brothers who were buying records in the 60s. They bought Beatle 45s, they bought Stones 45s, and whatever else. There's a few others that along the way that got lost along the way, which I've since found. But yeah, that's why I would go with the 70s. And the music was actually still quite diverse. We went, heavy rock, we had progressive rock, we had new wave punk eventually, along the way, folk rock, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Number 5, a Manchester band. And this will be Herman's Hermits from the 60s. A contemporary of the Beatles, maybe a follower in a way. This is quite a good album, a hit album. It's a 24-track compilation, Australian compilation, released on Rack here in Australia. Liner notes compiled by the Rock Band of the Universe from Australia, Ben A. Baker. This is a 1980 compilation. Quite a good one. Covers everything you pretty much need to know with Herman's Hermits. I'm Into Something Good, Silhouettes, Wonderful World, that did a cover of that. East, West, No Milk Today, My Sentimental Friend, yes, A Much to Avoid, Henry the Earth I Am, etc., etc. So there's that. Which band or artist did I hear the most? And by virtue of the fact that I investigated their back catalogue quite deeply and quite heavily, I'm going to go with a group called Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, a soul funk group. I don't think they're not around anymore. Sharon unfortunately passed away in 2016. She suffered a stroke, but actually was battling leukemia. And there's a great documentary film called Miss Sharon Jones, which documents her career, their career, the band's career, and what they had to do, the struggle they had with with Sharon's illness as well. But they were such a great band. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like a 9-piece band, all classy dressed, like a traditional soul band. Think like the James Brown band or some of the bigger bands, the Booker T and the MGs, or the Barcades, things like that. Maybe the Motown backing musicians. But yeah, this is such a great album, and Chica had such an amazing voice. I ended up buying a whole swag of their albums. There's about 9, 10, including the soundtrack, which I've got on CD. I've got 7 of them so far. I've got to get 2 more, including the first album, and also a really cool looking Christmas album, which I want to get hold of as well. So yeah, Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. If you haven't heard them, get hold of them. This is also recorded an analog, right, of Old School. I think they're based in Detroit, Michigan, as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you know for sure. But this might be here actually. House of Soul. My God, doesn't quite say where the studio was, but it's on DAP Records. Yes, Ducktone Recordings. No, not Chicago. I'm mistaken. Brooklyn, New York. Okay, so yeah, there you go. I misspoke. Brooklyn, New York. So yeah, great band. Talented vocalist. Sad loss. Okay, show 7x7 records, singles. I've got them over here, but I'm going to actually do a bit of both. While I'm here, I'm going to pull out some randomly. So, Jim Pitney, Playing Games of Love. These have all got, some have got company sleeves. These sleeves I got a while ago, many years ago, and I've got a label to show what they are. One, an August 45, that's from the UK. Never Ending But Such a Night. 3, Jimmy Rogers' Child of Clay, A&M Records, Australia. The Rolling Stones, Australian 45, Jumper Jack Flash. That's an Australian press. With Child of the Moon, Australian 45. Script called Simon Said. You and Me, Just Like in the Movies. Atco Records. I'm guessing it's an original. In fact, this might be from a haul from many years ago. Maybe not. But yeah, that's Simon Says. I gotta go. This is your pretty much a whack-a-mole. This is all from P down to about Z. Strawberry Alarm Clock. American Uni Records. Song called Tomorrow. On a plain sleeve. Okay, that's 5. I'll show a couple from up here. The Angels. Tour repeat. This is a big record back in the late 70s. They just had Face to Face album had been released. After the Rain was on there. He Rings the Bell and Coming Down, about live tracks, also from the album. They'll promote that album quite well. That's 6, I think. And I'm gonna go LaGrange, backed with, I don't know if you can see that, but it's Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers. A great 45. What a killer 45 this is. This is a great pair of tracks, both from the Trey Zombros album. I actually prefer the B-side, Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers. It's such a crunchy song, crunchy recording. There was many years ago, there'd been a reissue of their first 6 albums when I brought out, and they put Echo on the drums, and they just absolutely stuffed it. And thankfully, those recordings are now back as they were available. But you know, it just took the crunch out of the drums. I remember hearing LaGrange at many concerts, like between, you know, when they were setting up and between bands, they'd always play LaGrange in there, and the crunch of the drums on those speakers, phenomenal. Loved it. Okay, in case that wasn't 7, I'm going to show you one more. Finally received Now and Then by the Beatles. The last 45. Took ages to find that, to actually get hold of that. The price in Australia was ridiculous, $59.95 for that. I got this from England with the CD single. Half the price of the 45 Australian price of the 45 alone. There you go. Alright, enough of that. 4 music related artists or people at my dinner party. I'm a drummer, so I'm going to invite drummers, but those were a couple of favourites, and you know, it's going to be Ringo Starr, obviously. Ian Pace, my favourite drummer from Deep Purple, drumming hero. Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater, a genius drummer, who's also a bit of a Beatle brain. I've seen him making videos with his daughter, a quick fire quiz, and actually his daughter beats sometimes, which is amazing, right? It's like, you know, name that song in like the first 2 or 3 seconds of a track, right? And the 4th one is going to be Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters. He's just such a down-to-earth, funny guy. I saw the Foo Fighters only recently with my best mate Andre. Great show. Look, I just love his attitude. He just, I mean, a guy breaks his leg in the middle of a concert and continues to play, right? Just amazing, Whereas lesser people would have walked off with a broken thumbnail, But he that was after he fell off stage in Sweden a few years back. But those four people I would have. I could have come up with many more, but those four. Okay. I think an honourable mention would be Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden. Some of his stories would be really funny. Okay. Hello, Wonder. I've got my dog behind me here, want my attention. One musician we lost in 2023. Denny Lane, formerly the Mini Blues, the early incarnation of the Mini Blues, and also, of course, with Paul McCartney and Wings, a loyal band member, co-composer of Malakintyre, one of the biggest 45s ever released, biggest by that band at least. But Denny was the lead singer, and he's actually received vocal on Go Now. That was a hit in the 60s. Covered Becky Banks's 45. This is more a rhythm and blues type album. It's nothing really like anything that followed after when they went into their proggy sort of area. Okay, an album I bought. Okay, that's 9. Number 10. If you could only listen to music from one country, what would it be? Got to be the UK. If only because of the Beatles, Deep Purple, Status Quo, Uriah Heep, Led Zeppelin, David Bowie, the Stones, a whole lot of others along the way. Early Rod Stewart. I'm talking about early Mercury years Rod Stewart. Okay, not the Hollywood stuff later. And so on and so on. That's where I would go. The US would be great, but the UK presented us with so much amazing stuff, and the middle is another one, of course. You got to throw in there as well. But I would go to the UK. I think, judging by what I've seen on other videos, that seems to be the popular choice along the way. Okay, the 3 channels that I watched this year. Question number 11. 3 VC channels. Marsha P. Channel was beginning of last year. Lovely lady, from what I can see. Very understated channel. Always enjoy watching her videos. Always charming to watch. Northern Revolutions, Rob. Great channel. I love watching your content too, mate. You always actually come up with some new things that I've never seen before, and also your love for the Beatles, go without saying. And also Melinda Murphy, who has become one of my favourite channels this year, actually over time, not just this year. I've been watching her for a while. I love her passion. I love the way she presents her records. She's inspired me in a number of areas, particularly in the Euro jazz, where I've gotten into people like Bill Evans, for a start, Chet Baker, other people like that. So it gets me thinking about things that I am listening to and checking out other stuff as well. So thank you, Melinda, for what you do as well. Happy New Year to you all. Hope you're well and safe, and in fact everybody who's doing these videos and has a VC channel as well. There are any number of people I could have named, but those 3 particularly stand out as well for me. Okay, child record I bought in my teens, and that will be Sherbet's debut album. Sherbet was an Australian pop rock band in the 70s into the 80s. Very popular here in Australia. The title is called Time, Change and Natural Progression. It was their debut album. It features a couple of singles from a couple of early singles, as well as I think like You've Got the Gun, Do It, Time Changes, a long track, 5-minute long track. Love the One You're With. They had a knack of covering Creepy Torture Nash, and there was also a version of Chicago on their second album. They covered Free, Wishing Well. They used to perform that live. They pulled out a few things that were quite interesting along the way. But yeah, main songwriters were Garth Mitchell and Clive Shakespeare, until Clive left the band. Really great band. I used to love watching them. I went to their concerts quite a few times. Maybe one of the few males who went to their concerts, because they had a large teenage girl following as well. So yeah, okay. 13 will be Show a Funk Soul record. In the wake of Tina Turner's passing, I actually found myself investigating the icon Tina Turner part of her career. I only had the one single, but actually a couple of singles, Review of Mountain High, a number of City Limits, but I found there was more to them than just those records. That's an early compilation. That's probably a compilation from the 80s, but it's a reissue called The Soul of Icon Tina Turner. Some pretty gutsy, raw rhythm blues soul music in this. Ike actually sings on this as well, which he didn't sing much otherwise. A lot of the focus is on Tina. Great album. I recommend you actually investigate their music, because actually there's more to it than just Nutbush City Limits and River Deep Mountain High. Okay. Show a record you think everybody has and nobody has. First part of it. Well, I don't know about now, but back in the 70s, this was a huge album, Hot August Night. It's like, I think in Australia they said 1 in 3 people owned the record, or 1 in 3 households had the record. This is a great live album. I don't know if it's the case now whether everybody's got it. Maybe I'm overestimating it, but this was a great album. I think back in the day, back in 72, 73, this was the album to get for a long time there. And then a record that you think nobody got. I don't know how I came to get this one. I think it was in a haul of records that I found, that somebody gave me. A group called Petra. I think they're a Christian rock band. I don't know that I've ever played it. I kind of forgot that I had it. Album called Out in the Back to the Street. Yeah, I think it's Christian rock. Looking at the liner notes, there are Bible references here, different chapters that are quoted. Based on the lyrics, I think yes, possibly they were. If anybody else knows anything about them, maybe fill me in. I should play the thing, I suppose. It would help. Yeah, try that. Try playing the record. Okay, number 15. She Was Great. This follows into my second question about the last record I bought in 2023. Vic and Linda Bull, a pair of sisters who are legendary here in Australia. They were at one point in the Black Sorrows back in the 80s with Joe Camilleri, gone on to their own career. A great gospel soul funk rock duo. I believe this is only their second album according to the liner notes. I was surprised at that. The last one they made was 18 years ago apparently. It seems that they've just got waylaid along the way with different projects. They're currently, I believe, involved with Rockwiz as singers, part of the house band on that show. Rockwiz is an Australian music trivia show set in a pub. You know, I've always wanted to be on that show, but anyway, that's another story. Great album. Great album. Yeah, when I got this album with the other one, it's garbage. It was actually courtesy of a gift actually JB Hi-Fi. Courtesy of, thanks to my son. Come on, Father's Day Christmas gift. So I had to spend it. It didn't last very long. But yeah, this is a wonderful album. Vicar and Linda. Okay. My favourite video that I made, and one that I watched as well. Favorite one I made was one I made about my favorite albums in my ones that I go back to in my collection. Not the top 10 I always play, but one that I went through a kind of a deep dive of my collection, and I was actually watching it back tonight, and just telling stories about how those albums affect my life and what they meant to me at the time. It's a personal video. And my favourite video that I watched this year goes back to Northern Revolutions and Rob. A story he told about him and his relationship with his father. His father had passed away, and the relationship they had with music, in music together, and what it meant to him, right? And he kept his dad's records because they were his dad's records and they meant so much to him. So more power to you, Rob. You know, that was a great video. I enjoyed that so much. It was so emotional, so from the heart. Okay. Show a 90s classic. So I can't show a 90s classic on record because I didn't really buy many 90s on vinyl because it was CD. In fact, we couldn't get vinyl at the time. It was your CD at the time. So I'm going to go with Johnny Cash American Recordings on CD. Okay, part of the first of a series of albums that he recorded with Rick Rubin. Raw, heartfelt vocals from Johnny. Simple backing, very simply set. This was a great set of recordings that he put together. I kind of came to it late, but you know, this is quite a great album, and it was actually a nice comeback for Johnny at the time. So yeah, there's that. If you could walk into a record cover, which one? Into a scene of a record cover. So you imagine the different record covers we've seen and the different scenes. If you could walk into that scene, I picked Band on the Run by Paul McCartney Wings. I would just love to be among that crowd. You know, James Coburn. I think Peter Cushing. No, not Cushing. Christopher Plummer. John Conte, the boxer. Paul and McCartney, Danny Lane, Michael Parkinson. Just being in that scene, just being a fly on the wall. What's going on there? You know, that's quite a iconic shot. That, you know, and I think it would have been fun to be part of. Yeah. An album that feels like it could be a greatest hits to you. I'm gonna go with Billy Joel, The Stranger. This is a fantastic album. I don't think Billy ever topped this album, and there are so many radio hits on this album. I mean, Moving Out, Stranger, Just the Way You Are, Scenes from Italian Restaurant, which is the nice suite, which is he modelled it on Every Roadside too. Only the Good Die Young, Always a Woman to Me, You Get It Right the First Time, Everybody Has a Dream. All these things have been played on the radio one way or another, at one time or another. Some more than others, right? And it's just bang, 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 great track after great track after great track. I've seen the making of this album. There was a DVD that came with the Stranger box set, and yeah, it's actually really quite interesting how he put this album together. So yeah, Billy Joel, Stranger. And finally, an album released in 1974. My mind went to one album straight away. Deep Purple's Burn. It's actually the first Deep Purple album I bought on new release. This is what I was saying before about being able to hear music and buy albums with my money. And this was a new album at the time. New lineup, covered Alan Hughes, joined the band. Gil and the Glove were gone. Just a phenomenal album. Burn, Might Just Take Your Life, Lay Down, Stay Down, Sail Away. That opening 4 tracks there. Then you turn it over. You got You'll Feel No One with Pacey's amazing drumming on that. It's just an incredible drum rhythm he's got going on that. incorporating with a cowbell, and I watched him play it. I've seen it demonstrated, and there are things he's doing on there that I don't know how he's doing them, to be honest with you. What's going on here? Mistreated, Blackmore and Dave Coverdale. Blackmore would actually go on to perform that with Ronnie Dio with Rainbow, and Dio would be singing that, and then the instrumental A2000, A200 at the end. Great, phenomenal album. You know, one of my favourite Deep Purple albums. A very close second to Machine Head. Come Take the Band's one of my other favourite albums. But this one, yeah, 1974. Hard to believe this is 50 years old. Unbelievable. So yeah. Anyway, there you have it. That's my take on the vinyl tech. I haven't been too overly long, but unfortunately I also had some technical issues along the way. So this one will be an edited video. I'm going to have to try and merge it together. So anyway, take care everybody. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. I'd like to see your videos too. Let's see what you come up with. Okay? Everybody, take care. Bye-bye. Wherever you are in the world, good night, good evening, good morning, wherever. From Sydney, Australia. Bye-bye.